नमस्ते जी, नमस्ते. Welcome to Courtroom by TLOI की आत्मा as always. And today let us discuss about earning the right to curse your fate, or earning the right to curse your kismet, the fates, whatever you want to call it, destiny, fate, whatever it is. Now imagine back in the day in Ramayana, if Sri Ram were to say कि सीता माँ अगर किस्मत में होंगी तो आ ही जाएंगी, जो होगा वो तो हो ही जाएगा. Now in Jyotish, the third house of effort, parakram, is placed directly opposite to the ninth house. So all of these houses in Jyotish, I'll place a photograph here. They they are interconnected. The ninth house is of fortune, bhagya, your destiny, etc., higher knowledge, many factors. Sometimes father, the guru, etc., but mostly bhagya. So your good fortune, perhaps. So ninth house is the perhaps the most auspicious, the most lucky house in all of Jyotish. Bang opposite to it is the Sahaj Bhava. That is what they call it as. And it is the house of your effort. आप ये बात समझ लीजिएगा, लिख लीजिएगा, based on my own experience. पराक्रम और पुरुषार्थ के बिना भाग्य फलित नहीं होता. And this line has also been endorsed, well, by various texts, but most importantly, Sri K.N. Rao, who is perhaps, one of the most profound um, important figures, I would say, of modern day Jyotish, at least. So now what happens is that many people, because I work with a lot of students, many people just end up earning, or rather abusing their fate without putting in the required effort in. But if you have gone all in, that there was nothing more that you could do and it still did not work out, we can definitely necessarily conclude, even by the laws of critical reasoning, is that it was not fated. Because many a times, as you keep on growing older, despite your best efforts, perhaps things might just not work out. So usually this idea is sold to everyone: work as hard as possibly can and it will work out. And eventually when it doesn't, well, people get depressed, because the entire siddhant, the entire core principle on which they were working on, has collapsed. So it becomes somewhat of an existential crisis, that that have I been living on lies all of this time? If you did, however, my theory is, however, that if you did put in the work and you did give it absolutely all of you, and then it has not worked out, because the possibility will forever remain that things might just not work out, or you might just not get the desired result, then please do blame fate. Before that, do not, because you have not earned the right to. As Charlie Munger also says, that you have to earn everything, at least on this planet. I have an additional theory on that, because I believe in reincarnations, karams, and everything else. Is so, let us say that you see a person enjoying good fortune. They have born into a wealthy family, the parents are good, the inheritance levels, etc., everything is good. Perhaps they've earned it in their previous lifetimes. Now, of course, that is my theory. You are completely free to reject it and not believe in reincarnations and not believe in karams. It is not my duty to make you believe in all of these concepts. However, I will explore and explain these concepts as time goes on this very channel. However, having said that, is that many a times I observe a lot many folks, students, whomsoever, that I keep on interacting with, that they've not earned the right to abuse or curse the fate, curse the fates rather, and yet they are doing so. So, for example, if you do not intentionally put in the effort, the third house is also the house of arms. In fact, it's आप जाके आपका effort, आपके कर्म ही नहीं करेंगे, तो वो भाग्य फलित नहीं होगा. So whatever is in your fate, you will have to find out by doing action on it. Because else, मतलब Mahabharat, why would Mahabharat would have taken place? Why would Ramayana would have taken place? Why would anything would have taken place? They were all fighting it out there. If Guru Gobind Singh Ji had said back in the day कि forceful conversion हो रही है तो हो रही है, it doesn't really matter. But yet he fought out. He lost, he lost his own children, and well, he had an incredibly tough life. Yet he fought for the right thing, right? That was against forceful conversions specifically. So you have to take the action to find out what is fated. That's why the third house is bang opposite the ninth house. Both of these houses are interconnected. So to find out what is in your good fortune, you will have to put in the required effort. Then the second debate opens up as to why do I have to put in so much effort, and why do I have to work like a mad dog, and why is this guy or girl or whomsoever that is your comparison model, why shouldn't they have to put in that much effort? To tell you honestly, you can travel all the world, you can meet all of the saints, you can do whatever the hell that you wish to. The answer does not exist, and neither is the human mind able or competent enough to comprehend the answer. Perhaps that's why usually the wise ones are absolutely silent, because most of us will not be able to explain to you what we see and in the system. So it's a lot of karmic theory, a lot of jyotish involved, a lot of n number of very occult esoteric concepts involved that will not fit in within the classic evidentiary academia framework of, or rather the evidentiary and what you call as science. There are answers, but most likely you won't be able to find any, because well, even if you end up finding a genuine person, they will just not answer it to you, because well, you can't give a PhD level answer to, let us say, someone who's just entering their 10th grade, because you will just not be able to comprehend it. So, leaving all this hocus pocus, voodoo, tantra mantra aside, let's leave all this. Whether they exist, whether they are true, that's not the point of this discussion. Is you please try as hard as you possibly can so that you earn the right to blame your kismat in case things do not work out. And I kid you not, हार्ड वर्क से काफ़ी चीज़ें हो जाती हैं. Majority of the things get delivered by absolute sheer will, human will and force. However, if you did try your absolute best and still couldn't clear a competitive exam um, with a very limited number of seats, for example, NLS in its 3-year LB has around 40 odd seats, and let us say that you tried your level best and 4,000 people are attempting the exam, just giving you a hypothetical. If despite you trying your level best, it has not worked out, perhaps it was not fated. However, if you did not try your absolute best, let us say that you were slacking through the year and you didn't work as hard enough, you didn't attempt all of your mocks, you didn't go through the current affairs material, whatever, or you did not, you just took a chance कि फिर जो होना होगा सो हो जाएगा, and then it did not happen, perhaps the problem is you. All right. And that's how at least I decipher things, is that have you earned. So you have to earn everything, you have to earn a physique. It takes a lot of, it takes the life out of you to earn, to develop a physique. It takes the it will take the very life out of you to go closer to God. Spiritual sadhanas, these processes, they require an extreme sort of discipline. You will have to earn all of these, the so-called stuff that you um, read in books and fantasize about, perhaps, that you also one day will have a siddhi. You will have to earn it. Then you will have to earn all of your money and wealth. It is just earned. You might not be able to earn 200 odd crore rupees. If it is fated, then just put in the effort, see what happens. Those 200 crore ना आए तो 20 तो आ ही जाएंगे. चलिए, और realistic expectation 10 तो आ ही जाएंगे. That's okay. We'll work with that. Correct. However, अगर fate में हुए and you are working relentlessly, तो वो 200 भी आएंगे. But if you didn't work at all, maybe you end up at being at 5. Then the theory is कि जो होना होगा वो तो हो ही जाएगा automatically. Yes, but you will have to put in effort. Now, I also believe that there is a deeper theory that even that is fated, whether you will be working hard or not. because well, a signal will go from your causal body. Now I'll need to explain to you what the causal body is, then how that current works to make your brain do um, the exact required action. And there is a professor, I think I've forgotten his name. Give me 1 second. You can watch if you are so inclined to explore these deeper theories, because all of the West here, or which is 11. Okay, all of the you know all of the West concepts actually align very well with the ईस्ट, बट दोनों पढ़े होने चाहिए, राइट? दोनों अगर पढ़े नहीं होंगे तो आप नहीं कर पाएंगे इसको. सो दिस इज रॉबर्ट Sapolsky. Yeah, there is no free will. You can look it up. He's I believe a professor. He's a neuroscientist, and his hypothesis is that there is absolutely no free will, right? And he's the professor at Stanford. Yeah, he's a professor of biology, neurology, and neurosurgery. All right. So he has explored this concept that if even that is fated. However, he's not talking in terms of fate. He's talking in something else. However, I believe the Eastern guys are also doing pretty much the same thing. So these are deeper ideas that you can always explore. But what is the point any which way, unless and until you want to become a philosopher? So work as hard as possibly as you can on that one given thing. Earn the right. If because it is a it There are two possibilities post you working hard, that either you will achieve or either you will get your desired result or you don't. If you get your desired results, well, congratulations. Well, you must distribute some sweets and basically give out a party. However, if things did not work out, at least you have the capacity, or you have earned the right to curse the fate, because you did put in the purusharth, you did do the required effort, and yet it did not work out. That means it's a surety that it was not fated. But you can't say that it was not in my destiny, it was not in my fate, when you did not put in the required effort. And you must put your required effort in. And then only do you get on the tangent of kismet. Do not go on to the tangent of kismet, fate, destiny before you have tried out your absolute best, because who knows? Who knows? It was there in your fate, but thanks to your lack of effort, it never really um, came into existence. You will have to pull it out of the ninth house via the third house effort and manifest it in your life. You can't be thinking about it and manifesting. That's the theory that they have sold to you these days. You have to think about it as well, and you have to put in the required number of hours. Like, for example, UPSC prep is no less than a sadhana. You have to lock yourself up in the room, you have to cover out that syllabus, required number of hours. Same with judiciary prep. And then basically do it like a sadhana. Let us see what happens. Let us see when you take the attempt. Let us see what happens. And then then there is another thing is, like, for example, जैसे मैंने एनालिस्ट वाला जैसे एग्जांपल लिया था for 40 odd seats, क्या पता जी दूसरे के fated में ज़्यादा strong है. अब God only knows what is happening here. However, however, you must try your absolute level best, क्योंकि अगर हमारी किस्मत है तो बाकियों की भी तो है, right? And that's what a competitive exam, you are competing for one seat that you get. 10 others are not going to that specific college or that specific job. For every UPSC selection, 10-20 others will not get that job, right? So, well, can you say that did you prevent someone from their fate of becoming an IAS officer or an IFS1 because you got the job? No, certainly not. It was your fate. Well, if they have tried it hard enough, maybe it was not in their destiny. That's just about it. And I know, because a lot of young people watch this channel, 21, 22, 23. A lot of you folks also, um, well, there are nefarious elements out there who keep on, well, stalking and God only knows doing whatnot. Because at a young age ये बातें समझ नहीं आती. However, does that mean कि बातें अभी है नहीं हैं? बिल्कुल हैं. As you keep on growing older, you will start to understand. Once you interact with life a little bit more and more and more, you will pretty much understand that perhaps the grand script is fated. However, your effort will execute or will bring into reality from the astral, whatever you want to call it as, into your life, but that effort is yours. द पराक्रम द पुरुषार्थ तो आपको ही करना पड़ेगा. ज्योतिष सीखनी है तो बैठ के पढ़िए. जुडिशरी जज बनना है, बैठ के पढ़िए. Right, and that is boring. It takes a lot of effort. I have to literally break my spine every time that break my spinal cord to earn a single rupee. I mean, that's just my fate. Am I superior to someone who has gotten generational wealth? Absolutely not. That is their fate. More Mubarak to them. This is my fate. Well, more Mubarak to me. I'll work more and more and I'll work till I die. It's as simple as that. And if I were to say to you, किस्मत में होगा तो हो ही जाएगा, चलो छोड़ दो देखेंगे, फिर तो ऐसे फॉर्म भी मत भरो, फिर तो जो होना होगा हो जाएगा. However, since it is fated, something will end up making you fill the form, something will end up making you do the hard work, and then eventually you will be through if it is fated. However, to find all that hard work element, that third house thing, it will not work. So as this is an example from Ken Rao's, one of Ken Rao's lectures only says, so he says, then people ask me कि अच्छा समय चल रहा है, then you guys only say कि भाग्य अच्छा है, तो अच्छा समय चल रहा है तो अच्छा ही होगा. Yes, अच्छा ही होगा overall. However, he gives this example and an anecdote. However, not of course, it's a fictional hypothetical scenario. Is that, let us say that I own a godown which has a lot of food grains, and I allow you, because it is your good time, so I'm just very recipient to your request that you want some food from my godown, so I've allowed you. Now, in your good time I'll allow you, in your bad times I will not allow you. But in your good times, let us say that I tell you, take as much as you possibly can, and you bring your mom's handbag to fill that, ये क्या बोलते हैं, the let us say you want to take rice and ghee out of my godown, कितना ही fit कर लोगे in your handbag. It is your good fortune, because well, it is your good time overall, you are under a good time, that I am allowing you this. Otherwise, just presume that I am a very khadoos khusat sort of a person, the godown owner, and I usually do not allow people. But I have taken, I have taken some liking to you because of your good time, and I do not know that it's your good time, and I allow you this. But let us say by doing effort, you can actually bring 20 boras, the empty bags, and then take as much as possibly can, and then वो जाके तो आप ही को निकालना पड़ेगा. In your bad times, I'll be like, चलो चला दे, नहीं देंगे. That is your bad time. However, in your good time, आपको अगर अपना भाग्य फलित करना है तो वो पराक्रम, वो जो बोरी लाने का पराक्रम और वो उठाने का पराक्रम, वो आप ही को करना है. इसी के लिए दो बाजू दे रखी हैं आपको भगवान ने, टू डू कर्म्स. And then if things have not worked out, and the true test of that is when you can look yourself eye to eye in the mirror and say that I did my absolute best, and this was not supposed to work out, so it is okay, I accept the result. However, if you did not do that, and when things collapse, you've never earned the right to blame God, fate, kismat, destiny, whatever it is. So, and your inner gut will know the answer, that did you put in your all, or did you not put in your all. I'll give you a very personal example. So I was teaching for the DULLB. I opened two offices, not two offices. One was a special school. One was my office in North Campus. Earlier I was working out of my own school, that is Purti, and then I shifted out. So then DULLB law got dropped, and we had around 300, 400 odd students in the offline batch. They kept on dropping because as the demand for the law kept on dropping. Then I shifted over to judicial services exams, and I gave it my all. Believe you me, खैर आपसे मैं क्या ही believe you me कहूँगा. I know that in my entire thing that I gave it my all, and I've fought for it till the last. I fought for my own batch till the very last thing to complete the syllabus, etc. It took me over 2 years to complete it, and now it's finally complete, the Delhi Judiciary batch. However, during the course of the batch, the 3-year practice clause was imposed, and with that, everyone went to court and everyone went to their practice, and none of them were eligible till about 28, 29 before this review wali judgment came in. What that did was that completely destroyed the demand for judicial services exams. So eventually, I had to exit one of my offices, but I gave it my all. Last year in 25, For 3 days a week, I was teaching a judiciary batch. I resumed a 3 year LLB offline batch last year only. And then in the evening, I was teaching CLAD kids as well. While the judiciary batch was constantly, people were constantly, you can say, dropping out of the classroom because they didn't want to study it right away. Because, well, they are, now their examination would have been conducted in 28, 29, and who knows whether one is interested. And there were no admissions coming from there. So, well, we started this out to survive, and I gave it my all. I've aged I've aged terribly in the last 1 year, because I've been working day in and night out. There has not been a single hour that I cannot remember that I've not taken an off. I've not gone on vacation. That's why perhaps the content on this channel also, I keep uploading in a very non-regular, fashion, because well, I just do not get the time from work. I had a class yesterday from Friday at from 3 to 5. Then I had to shoot a 3 year review clause judgment ka video, edit it, upload it. And then I had a class for CLAT from 7:30 till 9. And then I have to plan for the next day. And then I had a class in the morning at 12 today. So it is not that I am hardworking. Of course, people, lawyers, law firms. If you are associated with law, this is the lifestyle that you will get. There are many days that you will not even find the time to even have lunch or perhaps even dinner. So we all are going on. We are all in the same boat. However, having said that, I did my absolute best, and eventually I had to wind up one of my offices. So now I'm well working out of my school again, and well, that's a legitimate, that's a huge office that we have. But we had an additional one in North Campus, so we exited that because that was primarily placed right next to the Faculty of Law, primarily for the judiciary batch. Once those people got uninterested, well, there was just no point. It didn't make any financial sense. But I did run that office for 3 years, and I fought extremely hard there, and I'm proud of the fact. So it was not fated. It was not fated, at least at that timeline, and proudly say that it was not fated for me to continue there. However, had I been sleeping, had I been partying, had I been completely found in a drunk state while these batches were going on, and well, then it was not fated. I didn't put in, so I didn't get the right to. I didn't earn the right to blame my fate. That is a certainty, right? And that my mother, that anyone else who was observing me, who were observing me as a neutral third party observer, would have told me. तो वो दुनिया ही देख के ही बता देगी कि वाकई में आपकी किस्मत नहीं था या वाकई में आपने मेहनत डाली थी. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap all of this up. Is that when you can look yourself eye to eye and your gut will tell you the answer of what was fated, and if you didn't put in the hard work, you will never get the right to earn, uh, you will never earn the right to abuse your fate. However, additionally, you will never find out what was fated. Believe you me, you just can't find it out. You can run to all jyotishis of the world, the parakram, the purusharth, the anushtans you will have to do. Maybe it was fated, and your arms didn't work in the manner that they were created, or intended to be used, and you wasted all of your time. Please do not do that. Make a plan, a disciplined, a structured plan. Stick to your timings, stick to the delivery deadlines. See what happens. Majority of the times, things are going to work out. In the tiniest cases when it doesn't work out, it was fated after you having put in the hard work. ठीक है जी? And I wish you all the very best on that note. Do take very good care of yourself, and may God bless you always. May God bless you with the wisdom to follow what is in your fate by your Purusharth. Wishing you all the very best. Take care. Bye.